System update. Ni rahisi na ni free. Ukipata ujumbe kutoka Kenya Power, yani SMS, weka kodi ya kwanza kureset, alafu weke kodi ya pili kuupdate ili token mita yako iendelee kufanya kazi kama kawaida. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na Kenya Power and Lighting Company.
It's 9 p.m. East African time from wherever you're watching us in Kenya and around the world. Edition coming to you live from Broadcasting House in Nairobi, Kenya. We begin this live broadcast with a look at our top stories tonight.
The suspect was arrested at Soweto in Kayole sub-county this morning at around 3 a.m.
The face of a mass murderer. Police link 33-year-old man to a dumping of bodies in Nairobi's Mukuru Kwanjenga.
Wale ambao wanaleta pesa sijui kutoka wapi ati kujaribu ati vijana wafanye fujo Kenya. Hawa wauni tutawakomesha.
Sponsors of anarchy. President Ruto accuses an international NGO of sponsoring youth protests. Thousands attend Mondi's candle lighting in Homa Bay. Would like to hear what your thoughts are on the stories that we are covering for you tonight. On all our social medias, our handle is at KBC Channel 1. Tonight, our sign language interpreter is Lensa Odingo. And many thanks indeed for joining us tonight. A 33-year-old man reported to be behind the killing of 9 women whose bodies were found dumped at the Kware dump site in Embakasi, Nairobi, has been arrested. According to DCI boss Amin Mohammed, the suspect, identified as Collins Jumaisi Halusha, was arrested in the wee hours of Monday morning. The suspect is reported to have confessed to having killed and raped a total of 42 women over the last 2 years. The bizarre killings have provoked a public outrage as families whose kin have been missing flocked to the city mortuary in search of their kin as a post-mortem of the bodies kicked off. Abdiaziz Hashim has the details of this chilling story.
Jumaisi Halusha.
Murders. To these reprehensible acts of what I can only call a vampire.
The 33-year-old is said to be a self-confessed serial killer who preyed and killed a total of 42 women, including 9 women who at Kware dump site in Mukuru, Embakasi.
But from the look of things, it is crystallizing that we are dealing with a serial killer.
DCI boss Amin Mohammed giving an update on the investigations. Details how Collins confessed to his crimes, which by description is akin to watching a horror movie.
The suspect confessed to have lured, killed and disposed 42 female bodies at the dumping site, all murdered between 2022 and as recent as last day, 11th of July, 2024.
Amin saying they tracked Collins and managed to arrest him at around 3 a.m.
He was arrested outside a club where he had gone to watch the Europe 2024 football finals.
Further, of how the suspect says his thirst to kill was birthed.
The first victim was his wife, namely Imelda Judith Halenya, whom he struggled to death before dismembering her body and disposing it at the same site.
A thirst that appeared, and for the last 2 years, the suspect is said to have continued on a bloodbath.
Yeah, it can, because we are talking about an upward of 40 females having been killed. So, and with the spike in homicide cases, there could be a correlation.
According to the DCI, the suspect led the officers to his single-room rented house in Kware, about 100 meters from the crime scene. Here, several items were recovered.
One machete that we believed was being used to dismember.
The officers say a forensic analysis of a mobile phone found in his house shows the phone belonged to a victim now deceased known as Josephine Mulongo Owino. She is reported to have conducted a mobile money transaction on the day she went missing.
He would dispose of the mobile phones belonging to the victim and suspecting persons at a throwaway price of 500 shillings, 1,000 shillings, so on and so forth.
Investigations are still ongoing, and the suspect's house and the dumping site remain an active crime scene.
Yesterday we did recover one more body, bringing to 9 bodies recovered so far. The post-mortem examinations are happening today.
The revelation by the investigative unit has posed more questions than answers.
We also indicated that if there who is complicit in any way will be dealt with.
Even before they said Josephine prophesied what she prophesied, we had our work plan clearly cut for us.
Mortuary. Family, friends and relatives who have not seen their loved ones for weeks now flock to the city mortuary in search of their kin.
Nimekuja hapa kwa sababu ya msichana wetu mwenye amepotea. Alipotea on the 23rd mpaka leo 23rd June mpaka leo hajapatikana.
Red Cross has pitched tent at the city mortuary for victims to record the names of their missing family members.
What we need examination of pieces of the upper part of the body. So there's one upper part of the body which contains the head, the chest, the upper limbs, and the trunk.
Discoveries of the body has continued to attract condemnation with calls for justice.
We strongly condemn these brutal acts of violence and call for immediate and thorough investigations to ensure that all those responsible are brought to book.
That we are watching, that we are keeping brief, that we are witnessing the process.
It is really important that we treat the dump site, the quarry dump site, as a crime scene, and that it is not disturbed in a manner in which we are not able to recover any other bodies that may be there.
The prime suspect is expected to be arraigned before a court of law to answer to charges leveled against him tomorrow. Zashim from the DCI headquarters, Prime Edition.
Now, at least 2 more bodies were retrieved from the quarry dump site in Mukuru Njenga slum Monday, bringing to 10 the number of bodies discovered at the quarry. Monday's exercise, however, went on smoothly with the security officers conspicuously missing. Area residents have continued to pile pressure on government to provide answers to the mysterious discovery of the bodies. Here's that report.
For the fourth day in a row, Ukuru Kwanjenga residents miled around the quarry dump site in anticipation of the retrieval of more bodies from the now infamous quarry. Danger in the expansive and deep waters of the quarry, local volunteers courageously went 50 meters down the quarry in search of more bodies. And as fate would have it, 2 bodies stuffed in gunny bags were retrieved. Curious residents at the top of the quarry watched in horror. Answers from the government.
Tangu tuanze kutoa miri hapa, kitu ya kwanza hatujaona usaidizi wa serikali. Kitu ya pili, tunataka kuuliza serikali kwamba anasema hii miri ilitupwa hapa, ajui kama ni mtu alifanya nini. Tunauliza vizuri, hii police station iko hapa, kazi yao iko hapa ni ya nini?
Mwanamke anafunikwa na yeko kwa takataka ni jambo la kuhuzunisha sana, na ingali tuko na serikali.
Mbona serikali isingililie hii kitu katikati, iweze kuonyesha mwananchi wale watu wamezama kwa hii maji ni watu wangapi?
President William Ruto, while in Nakuru, weighing in on the matter.
Those behind the against our children, against our daughters in Kware, all of them, the government of Kenya will make sure that they are brought to book and they are charged so that we can stop criminality in the Republic of Kenya and protect our children, our daughters.
Contrary to the past 3 days, the on Monday was residents freely milling around the scene of crime with smoke being seen from a distance. The Mukuru community volunteers say they will continue with the process of searching for more bodies on Tuesday. Joseph Ohungo for Prime Edition.
The number of bodies retrieved from the quarry dump site on Monday at 11 so far. At 11, beg your pardon, and not 10, as I'd mentioned earlier. Meanwhile, President William Ruto has accused an international NGO of allegedly sponsoring the recent anti-government protests that left scores dead and property worth millions destroyed. Speaking in Nakuru Monday, the president took issue with American-based foundation that he said was keen on destabilizing the country.
The head for development tour of the vast county on Monday. It's here that the president claimed that an international organization sponsored guns to cause mayhem during protests which led to destruction of property.
Mimi nataka niulize watu wa Ford Foundation watuambie hiyo pesa wanatoa ifanye fujo ndio wapate faida gani? We are going to call them out and we are going to tell them if they are not interested in democracy in Kenya, if they are going to sponsor violence, if they are, we are going to call them out and we are going to tell them they either style up or they leave.
The president vowed to call out all those he said are sponsoring the violence witnessed during the protest, while at the same time urged the youth to shun those using them for selfish interests.
And the young people of Kenya, they are not act violence. They are not available to have anarchy in our country. We do not have a spare nation. We have only one Kenya. Hatutaki fujo. Hatutaki vita. Hatutaki wale wanaharibu mali.
Ruto said his priority is uniting Kenyans, ensuring peace, growing the country's economy, creation of employment through development projects, while at the same time,
I am ready, I am willing, I am available to consult with as many leaders who are willing to consult with us so that we can form a government that is going to bring Kenya together.
Muunga mkono rais wetu na hiyo kazi tumuombee atafute wafanyikazi wazuri wa kumsaidia.
The head of state inspected the construction progress of Nakuru Bus Park, the ultra-modern market in Nakuru City, Njoro Technical Training Institute in Njoro Sub-County. He was accompanied by his deputy, Rigathi Gachagua, among other leaders.
Let's now take you to Homa Bay, where there was a somber mood at the Allow Rachuonyo Hall in Karachuonyo, Homa Bay County, as a section of university students from the constituency held a candle lighting ceremony in memory of Denzel Omondi. The body of Omondi, a student at JKUAT, was found in a quarry in Juja days after he went missing following the anti-finance bill protests. And as the irate students are demanding justice for Denzel.
These were the scenes as the students gathered to eulogize the late Denzel Omondi. A Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology student. A section of university students from Karachuonyo constituency gathered at Ala Rachuonyo Hall, Karachuonyo in Homa Bay County, not only to honor Denzel's memory, this is for their colleague and neighbor.
We are asking the police and those people who are in a position to do the investigation for the death of Denzel.
We are here to demand justice for our murdered son, Comrade Denzel Onyango, who was murdered in a very inhuman manner in Nairobi.
Constituency to stand in solidarity with our fallen heroes. We know this is an injustice for one, injustice for all. The family of Denzel is demanding for justice. Comrades, power!
Karachuonyo lawmaker Adibo Okume described Denzel as a sharp student who had a bright and promising future, but whose life ended tragically.
Term possible, the person or the persons who are responsible for the demise, for the end.
He regretted the untimely death of Omondi, saying it is a profound loss to the community where he had a positive impact.
We have lost our son. He was having a bright future. He was a student at JKUAT. If I ask more, I find that the boy was doing well.
Timothy Kipnoso for Prime Edition.
Now, police in Nakuru are probing an incident in which a 22-year-old student from the Rift Valley Institute of Science and Technology died in unclear circumstances. She is reported to have been seen in the company of a Nakuru businessman, only for her body to be discovered lying along the highway. It is suspected that the student was thrown out or jumped out of a moving vehicle, leading to her death. Nancy Okware reports.
22-year-old Eileen Cherotich, a student at Rift Valley Institute of Science and Technology, was last seen alive belonging to a Nakuru businessman on Saturday evening. The two are said to have enjoyed a couple of drinks within the town before they left together in his vehicle. However, in a tragic turn of events, Eileen's body was discovered along the highway on
Deceased and his boyfriend had an argument inside the car, and all of a sudden, nobody knows what happened. The deceased was out of the vehicle. Whether she was thrown, whether she jumped on her own, we are not yet established.
On confirmation of her death, irate students descended on the business premise of the businessman, destroying property of unknown value. The businessman has since been arrested alongside two other suspects.
Haki ya wanafunzi wetu. Na ninawaomba tutulie na tungoje wafanye hiyo investigation wamefanya. Nimepikiwa simu asubuhi ya kuwa Elina ameuliwa na hapa tumekuja kusoma. Kuna wapapa wamekuja mnachukua wasichana wetu. This is a last warning. Kari yako ikifika tena Kabasis, tunaumia sana. Ingekuwa msichana wako anapelekwa hivyo aende auliwe. Tunaumia sana.
Police are currently in pursuit of 3 other suspects who are on board the vehicle at the time of the incident. Elsewhere, Kibwezi town residents held demonstrations decrying increased insecurity cases. 2 days in a row, the residents took to the streets, saying that since the year began, over 5 people have been killed, with the recent incident involving a boda operator.
Mimi nahitaji haki itendeke, kwa maana watu wa bodaboda
wanauliwa kinyama aina hiyo, sana sana wanatupwa sehemu ya dua. Hakuna usaidizi wanapata, hakuna ati huyu ndio ameua, hiyo inaishia hapo hapo na kunyang'anywa hizo pikipiki zao.
Kuna jamaa jana aliuliwa, afanya tumeenda station kuripoti, wakasema mafuta gari serikali haina mafuta. Sisi kwenda kuchukua mwili tukapeleka mpaka mochari. Wakakataa hiyo mwili.
Unapata wakati unaenda kufanya uwizi wanawekewa mtu escort. Sasa uniambie sisi wakati tunauliwa, kwa nini sisi pia wasituprotect? Sasa sisi mambo yetu ni hivi. Kuna kama wale maaskari sisi hatutaki hapa, kama ikiende sana wapige transfer. Hata sisi tumechoka, sisi wananchi tumechoka, sisi wa bodaboda. Kama kitu kama hii unapiga mtu, sisi tuliana na tuliana na amani.
Nancy Kware, Prime Edition.
Now, moving on, the Kenya Road Safety Association is calling for an overhaul of the National Transport and Safety Authority, alleging an increase in cases of road carnage despite the existence of the authority. The association is faulting the authority for allegedly showing a lack of commitment in improving road safety and ending the culture of corruption. According to the association, corrupt individuals within the authority were responsible for roadworthy vehicles on the road, calling for a total cleanup of the total management at the institution.
During the operation, 23 public service vehicles were impounded and taken to Kasarani police station after they were found to have violated traffic regulations, including using worn-out tires and lack of a valid insurance.
We've managed to get a number of vehicles, but not just getting a number, but good number of our road users, that's drivers.
According to NTSA Director Andrew Kiplagat, the crackdown will be rolled out to other counties with the aim of enhancing road safety, calling on road users to adhere to traffic.
Pedestrian, ensure that you are crossing in safe places. That's pedestrian crossing. If we are having footbridges, we use them. Then we avoid carnages.
His sentiments were echoed by head of operations at the traffic headquarters in Nairobi, Sarah Koki.
We are talking to enforce rules on the road.
The crackdown comes at a time when the authority is under public scrutiny amid claims of bribery.
Every day we have an accident, and we are just saying NTSA should be cleaned from all the directors, from the board of directors. They should all go home.
Claims it has denied.
Kama ni Kasarani aswa na popote, watu wasipe polisi ongo, watu wafuate sheria. Raia yoyote ambaye ako na malalamishi akuje kwa ofisi atueleze. Siwezi kutetea polisi yoyote.
John Kahiro, Prime Edition.
Pushes the appointment of Anthony Mboya as the chairman of the board of directors of the Kenya Revenue Authority. All that coming up after this short break.
Waziri wa fedha katika serikali ya hayati Mzee Kenyatta, makamu wa rais katika serikali ya Rais Daniel Arap, na pia kuwa waziri wa afya kabla ya Desemba mwaka 1991, yeye kuanzisha chama cha DP.
Tuko sawa.
Unajua, token mita yako inahitaji system update. Ni rahisi na ni free. Ukipata ujumbe kutoka Kenya Power, yani SMS, weka kodi ya kwanza kureset, alafu weke kodi ya pili kuupdate ili token mita yako iendelee kufanya kazi kama kawaida. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na Kenya Power and Lighting Company.
Na leo tuko na show moja ya Vungu.
Alliance Francais hosted Al-Noor Band inside Eddie Gray, who played Tarab music. The biggest competition in the world made a stop in Nairobi once again.
Welcome back. Tell us what your thoughts are on the stories that we are covering for you tonight. We are on all channels. Our handle at KBC Channel 1. Now, the Ministry of Labour embarked on an exercise aimed at reducing the prevailing skills mismatch by aligning supply to demand. The Principal Secretary in the Ministry, Shadrach Mwadime, said that the move is expected to create job opportunities and also to help address youth unemployment. Here's that report.
It's good that for yourself.
In a world often marred by conflict and inequality, the role of youth in fostering peace and driving sustainable development has never been more crucial. On World Youth Skills Day 2024, the global community has trained its guns towards empowering young people with the skills needed and inclusive societies.
We should be able then to know where there is a mismatch, where there is a gap, so that the analysis we carry out and the recommendations we come up with will inform curriculum, whether there's need to change curriculum in TVETs, in universities or not.
Principal Secretary, State Department for Labor and Social stated the measures put in place to address the unemployment crisis among the young generation.
We need to think creatively, innovatively, to equip and ensure that our young people acquire the necessary skills and tools for the future jobs. This will ensure our young people are able to compete effectively in the global market.
Investing in youth-centered programs that promote tolerance, social cohesion, and respect for diversity.
We engage with young people, we bring young people, they become the people who are designing the program and implementing them in a language that they understand.
Into the corridors of justice, the High Court has quashed the appointment of Anthony Mboya as the chair of the Board of Directors of the Kenya Revenue Authority, KRA. Justice Francis Gikonyo said that the appointment of Mboya was illegal, and it was made when he was facing economic as well as corruption charges at the Milimani Anti-Corruption Court. Details in the Scales of Justice segment.
While giving his ruling in a petition filed by Nakuru Surgeon Dr. Maga, the court found that the appointment of the KRA chair by President William Ruto was unprocedural as it violated the law and the constitution. Mwaura had been charged alongside former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko and 15 others for allegedly embezzling 357 million shillings from Nairobi County government by this year. The court ruled that although Mwaura was later acquitted of corruption, this did not legitimize his appointment which took place while he was still facing the corruption charges.
Today, on 15th July 2024, Your Honor.
Criminal investigation has been granted 14 days to hold a suspect in a murder case. Collins Odor, alias Vampire, is accused of stabbing Boniface Opio multiple times on 10th July at Mudhurwa Market.
Your Honor, that conduct the identification parade for the respondent by the witnesses who were present at the scene on the material day of the Mudhurwa Market.
The investigating officer Poka Mauka informed the court that they need to perform an age assessment as the suspect does not have an identity card. Elsewhere, the hearing of a case in which businessman a land dispute with former PC David Chelogoi continued at the magistrate's court, with 3 witnesses taking to the stand.
This property was allocated by the Commission of Lands way back in 1993 to a company named Line Company Limited.
The 3 will include 2 officers from the Ministry of Land and a director of the Line Company Limited. Kiran Kumar, who sold the land to Ashok, took the court through the process.
I bought this property on 18th day of November 1994 as per the sale agreement. And the value I paid was 16 million Kenya shillings.
You were saying in your letter that you are the author and you solely rely on the contents of the letter dated 11 November 2008, correct? You also confirmed that at the time of receiving that letter, upon checking the system, yes, you found that the entry or transfer had been blocked.
Yes.
Who had blocked them?
I have no idea. He attached a copy of
the one.
The hearing continues on Wednesday and Thursday with 9 witnesses expected to testify. Ruth Womboy for Prime Edition.
Now on Bishop Kiuna, who died last week after a long battle with cancer. President Dr. William Ruto has described Bishop Kiuna as a man of faith who served God unconditionally. The president's eulogy was read by State House Controller Josephat Nanok during a memorial service at Faith Evangelistic Ministry in Karen. These and more stories in our county's wrap.
Speaking during the memorial service of late Bishop Kiuna at Faith in Karen, President William Ruto, in a speech read on his behalf by State House Controller Josephat Nanok, described Bishop Kiuna as a general of the Word of God and a firm faith leader whose sermon was authentic and targeted.
He was a firm faith leader, was stimulating, authentic, and targeted. Beyond the pulpit, Bishop Kiuna was focused, hardworking, and played the lead role in uplifting the needy.
Bishop was a bold man who undertook every assignment with courage, and never was he held back by human fear.
Sentiments echoed by the spouse of the Deputy President, Pastor Dorcas Gachagua.
When he was not feeling very well, and I remember he took time, he prayed, he delivered the message. He was sweating, drenched in sweat, and he did not stop. He taught the men of God.
Meanwhile, Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers Kakamega branch stormed the Mayanate office in the region over what they claimed as poor services.
Unaenda hata kujifungua hospitalini, haupewi matibabu unataka. Saa zingine unajifungua, kunakuwa na complications, mtoto anahitaji kukalishwa pale hospitalini, mineti na.
We are saying no to minette in Kakamega County.
Also in Busia County, a 33-year-old man, Evans Otieno, and who is a boda operator, surprised many after he was appointed as assistant chief in Matayos location.
Ningependa kuhakikishia umma na serikali ya kwamba itatimiza majukumu yote ambayo nimepewa kwa mujibu wa sheria za Kenya.
And a farmer in Makutano village is counting losses after a suspected animal believed to be a leopard killed more than 40 goats and sheep. The victim is demanding for compensation from relevant authorities. Finally, the long wait and pressure by Gatanga residents to have access to water from the massive Nakaine Dam in the constituency have borne fruit after Athi Water agreed to release 10 million cubic meters of water to the residents.
Rwanda went to the polls Monday to elect the next president as the country's general election kicked off. The incumbent Paul Kagame, who's vying for a fourth term, is facing two opposition candidates, namely Franz Habineza of Democratic Green Party and independent candidate Philippe Mpayimana. The Electoral Commission barred 8 other candidates from vying, citing, among others, missing and incomplete registration documents. Tilio Mar.
It was a historical day for the Rwandese as they lined up at polling stations on Monday to exercise their democratic right to elect their next president. 8 candidates had shown interest in vying for presidency, but only 3 made it to the ballot after being cleared by the electoral body. 66-year-old incumbent Paul Kagame is the leader of the Democratic Green Party and the independent candidate Philippe Mpayimana. Kagame is expected to emerge with a landslide victory, having earned credit for transforming Rwanda into a thriving economy, although he has also faced criticism from rights activists and Western nations for muzzling the media, stifling opposition, and allegedly backing rebel groups in the Republic of Congo. Kagame is hoping to win the endorsement of the more than 9 million eligible voters, with the provisional results of the election expected by July 20th. Tilio Marco for Prime Edition.
Tonight we bring you the profile of Musikari Kombo, a seasoned politician with a dynamic career spanning decades in Kenya's political landscape, from his early days in parliament to his relentless fight against graft. Kombo's journey has been marked by significant milestones and challenges that shaped his legacy.
Musikari Nazi Kombo was born on 13th March 1944. He attended Misiko Primary School, Nyeri High School for his A-levels, and Mumias High School for O-levels. He then joined the University of Nairobi, where he pursued a bachelor's degree in economics. In 1992, he was elected to Parliament on a Ford Kenya party ticket. He was elected Member of Parliament for Mboya constituency. He lost his parliamentary seat just 2 years into the job after he was found guilty of engaging in witchcraft. In a court ruling delivered on November 17, 1994 in Nairobi by Judges Emmanuel Okubasu, G.P. Mbito and John Mwera, Kombo was found guilty of administering traditional oaths to bind and instill fear in voters to elect him during the 1992 general election. From 1997 to 2002, he served as Member of Parliament for Mboya constituency. Kombo had established himself as an almost one-man crusader against corruption. Kombo was the first to denounce KANU's move as mere window dressing and argued in Parliament that only an independent and constitutionally protected outfit could be trusted to fight corruption in the country. Kombo and like-minded colleagues in the opposition came up with radical amendments to the government bill, resulting in the formation of the Kenya Anti-Corruption Authority, which would later mutate to Kenya Anti-Corruption Commission. Today, it is known as Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. But Kombo was yet done with the loads of corruption. As chairman of the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee, he oversaw the extraction from the reports of the Auditor General of all cases of stolen public funds and compiled them into one report that was famously referred to as Kombo List of Shame. With lengthy appendices and annexes on who had stolen what, the report reads like an encyclopedia on graft in Kenya. The Ford Kenya party, whose leader was Kijana Wamalwa, had formed a pre-election coalition with Kibaki's Democratic Party in the countdown to the 2002 general election. Together with Charity Ngilu, they came up with the National Alliance Party of Kenya, which was later joined by a group of KANU renegades to form the National Rainbow Coalition (NAC) that won the election with Kibaki as the presidential flag bearer. Wamalwa was appointed vice president, but he died in office 8 months into the NAC administration. Kombo replaced him as the new Ford Kenya leader. From 2003 to 2007, he served as Member of Parliament for Mboya. From January 2003 to October 2003, Kombo was appointed Cabinet Assistant Minister for Planning and National Development. In June 2004 to October 2004, he was then appointed Cabinet Minister of Regional Development Authorities. From June 2004 to 2007, Kombo was appointed Cabinet Minister for Local Government. However, soon after Kombo took over the Ford Kenya party reins, a rebellion emerged in NARC, with Raila Odinga from the KANU side and Gilu pulling in different directions. Ford Kenya aligned itself with DP in what was left of the original NARC, even through the 2005 government-backed referendum on the constitution and all the way to the hotly contested 2007 elections. This alignment would cost Kombo greatly. He lost his Mboya parliamentary seat in 2007, and this development eventually led to a split in his party, giving rise to the new Ford Kenya, which has since become moribund. In 2007, he ended his Ford Kenya membership and chairmanship. In 2007 to 2013, he joined the Party of National Unity. He was nominated to Parliament in 2008 to 2013. Kombo would further champion the fight against corruption in the political arena. He is credited with advocacy that caused enactment of the Political Parties Act 2011, which provided a framework for the registration, regulation and funding of political parties. He is also acclaimed for his contribution to the formulation of policy and charters on anti-corruption elsewhere in Africa and the Caribbean, when he served on the board of the African, Caribbean and Pacific Group for States European Union bloc. In 2013, he was an aspiring senator for Bungoma County in the general elections. In January 2013, he joined New Ford Kenya. In February 2013, he became a coalition member of Amani Peace Coalition.
Kwa star 570 hash tunakupa nafasi ya kuchomoka na this brand new Mazda Demio. Enjoy a beautiful clean semi-leather interior, low mileage, touchscreen and a reverse cam, fuel efficient 1300cc engine, great for personal use and business. Ukitaka kujishindia gari hili, kucheza ni rahisi sana. Chukua simu yako, bonyeza star 570 hash, chagua option number 4, kisha unajiunga na draw. Kumbuka kucheza mara kadhaa, because the more you play, the higher chances of wewe kuwa mshindi.
Gari ya pili ni yako. Ni yako.
Hii Julai, jishindie Demio na Loto Moto. Tucheze, tusaidie na tushinde.
Leo tuko na show moja ya Vungu.
Alliance Francais hosted Al-Noor Band from Lamu alongside Eddie Gray, who played Tarab music. The biggest urban street dance competition in the world made a stop in Nairobi once again.
The port operations in Mombasa, it's now time for the day's business.
Thank you very much, Tom. Let's get the latest in the world of business. My name is Betty Kiptum. Now, the Kenya Ports Authority projects to handle over 1.8 million 20-foot equivalent units this year, which is a 10% growth compared to last year. KPA Managing Director Captain William Ruto says the port has already surpassed the 1 million TEUs mark.
The Port of Mombasa handled 1.6 million 20-foot equivalent units in 2023, which was an increase from the 1.45 million TEUs recorded in 2022. So far, Kenya Ports Authority Managing Director says the Port of Mombasa has already handled 1 million TEUs and is on course for a double-digit full-year growth.
The Port of Mombasa, we continue doing so well. As of yesterday, we crossed the 1 million TEU mark. And our projections this year, we are projecting to do more than 1.8 million TEUs, which is more than 10% growth compared to last year. This is something that is very positive in this port. As you are aware, a year before that, the growth was only 0.4%. And since 2023, their performance has been so good. And if you compare what we've been doing this year, we've been breaking records right, left, and center.
Captain Ruto, who was speaking during the inaugural call by MV Eva Vim at the Port of Mombasa, said the call by the vessel that is owned by Evergreen Shipping Line underscores the growing confidence in the Port of Mombasa.
All the containers that are on board are being offloaded from this place, and we are also loading full. So if you compare with what it has been doing on other ports, we are doing more than 10 times what other ports have been loading.
If we go some years back, our vessel used to stay like 5 and 6 days alongside. Right now it's only 2 days from in and out. So it's really a big improvement, and this leads us to bring more and more vessels to Kenya Port Authority.
The vessel, which has a capacity of 3,110 TEUs, is expected to discharge about 2,500 TEUs at the Port of Mombasa.
Polish investors are in Kenya scouting for investment opportunities, especially in agro-processing. Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry President Dr. Eric Ruto says Kenya and Poland have signed a deal for knowledge and technology transfer that will help expand Kenya's export portfolio, value and create local jobs.
Kenya's main exports include tea, cut flour, coffee and tropical fruits. The current trade volume between Kenya and Poland stands at $63 million, heavily in favor of the small businesses are optimistic that deals signed between Kenya and Poland would grow export portfolio and value to the European nation and help correct the trade imbalance.
It's a very important country. It is the sixth largest in the European Union and the top 20 in the world. So therefore, Kenya stands a very big opportunity for us to be able to exchange business information, trade.
These agreements should get closer cooperation between our companies, including different kinds of sectors, starting from agriculture and livestock, IT sector, mining sector, and also tourism sector.
Bilateral cooperation between Kenya and Poland is agro-processing and technology transfer for Kenyan SMEs, with the focus areas being tea, macadamia and cashew nuts.
We've discussed here assembly of agricultural machinery. We are in agriculture, so we are looking at cotton, edible oils and fish. We are looking at tourism and also business process outsourcing.
We're also going to sign MOUs with universities and hospitals here in Kenya, and this one is going to enhance exchange of skills between Kenya and Poland.
I strongly believe that will turn into real opportunities that can be used to build a stronger economic partnership between us in the years to come.
The partnership is expected to create a sustainable and mutually beneficial trade relationship between the two nations. Trevor Ngindo for Prime Edition.
And Equity Bank customers in Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda and soon the Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda and South Sudan will access secure and convenient ways to send and receive international money transfers. A diaspora remittance deal between Equity Group and ZepZ, which owns money transfer brands WorldRemit and Sendwave. Equity Holdings Group CEO James Mwangi says the partnership will enable the lender to facilitate trade linkages by supporting person-to-person, person-to-government, business-to-business payments.
It is a partnership that opens opportunities for innovations and bringing together the competences and capabilities of the two groups together to provide a solution to an entire continent in the space of payments, and has brought as person-to-person payment, payments, business-to-business payment, facilitating trade.
We want to help solidify our market share and grow our market share in those regions, but also help Equity Bank in the process either grow what they're doing there or establish themselves in those markets.
And digital taxi drivers are calling for a review of terms by increasing travelers to boost their earnings. The drivers also want companies to lower the percentage they earn from rides from the current maximum of 18%. The drivers held protests to some offices of taxi hailing companies in Nairobi. Frustration over the NTSA regulations 2022 that they said are exploitative.
Ninasema kwa niaba ya madereva, tumechoka. Kama wenyewe ndio wenye magari, tuna service magari zetu, tuna fuel magari zetu, tunaosha magari zetu, tuko na loans, tunaomba kusikizwa. Kuanzia leo tunaomba kusikizwa. Kama sio hivyo tunafunga hii ofisi. Kama si hivyo tunaenda NTSA. NTSA waruhusu waende kwao.
Tunatembea usiku tunafanya 24 hours ndio upate 500. Imagine. Lamika kidogo wanakufungia account. Imagine.
Sisi tumesimama, tunataka fairness na app zote zikuwe na standard mechanism ya pricing. Mechanism yenyewe tushaika on table kutoka AA lishafanywa, basically lishafanywa. So the apps are not following what is due process, what is the law. Madereva wenzangu tumegoma, tuone kama tutasikika.
Ningependa tu hizi app ziweke gari ndogo minimum 40 shillings per kilometer na per minute 6 shillings. Ndio ukifika kwa traffic bado inaongeza. Gari inakunywa mafuta. Unapata unabeba mteja upate traffic, itakost 45 minutes kufika town, inakwambia 230 surely. Unafanyia kazi 230, inabidi unarudi kwa mfuko, ungojea masaa mengine, inabidi mchana unafanyia kazi ni kulipa commission na kila kitu.
And on that note, we wrap up business news this evening. Sports news is coming up with Marakwet Express, who is already in studio. My name is Betty Kiptum. Do have yourself a good night. Bye-bye.
A very good evening to you. Welcome back to KBC Sports. My name is Karen Kibet. Former Commonwealth and World Javelin champion, he must get his tactics right for him to stand any chance of winning the only gold medal that has eluded him at the Paris Olympic Games. Yego will be the only sole Kenyan representative in javelin throw at the Games, which began officially on the 26th of this month and televised live on KBC channel.
With only one Olympic silver medal to his name, javelin thrower Julius Yego is hunting for a gold medal this time round at the his body to the limit to achieve his target at Team Kenya's training base in Mirama, southern of France.
It is the right time to push now, and how it's going, I feel really good. And a technical event like javelin, morning during the competition, the body is just fine. And for me, so far so good. Since May, I'm feeling okay. The body is really responding well to training. And today, maybe I pushed too hard because I feel it is completely shut down.
by injuries, but since his full return to training and active competition, Yego is ready to fight for a medal in Paris. He experienced a lot of difficulties in his qualification journey before he finally booked his ticket, so he is not ready to leave France empty-handed.
It was tough. It was difficult for me. I'm waiting to see if I will make it to the rankings, but yeah, sometimes it happened like that. It was the most difficult for me, the most difficult season for me. I started it well, good results in March, but of course when I got injured during the Kipchoge Classic competition, I thought maybe it was the end of the season for me, but luckily the injury, and I came back to compete, and here I am, qualified for the Olympics.
The African record holder finished second at the Rio Olympics in 2016, winning a silver after taking the gold medal at the World Championship in Beijing the previous year. He also won a gold medal in the 2014 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, 2 gold medals and a silver medal from the All-Africa Games, and an additional 5 gold medals and a bronze medal from the Africa Championships.
Thank you, Barkley, for that report. We do wish the YouTube man all the best. Moving on, Sports Principal Secretary Engineer Peter Toom has exuded confidence that the Nyayo National Stadium in Nairobi will be given a clean bill of health to host the international match. The PS was speaking when he inspected the renovation progress of both the Nyayo and Kasarani Stadia on Monday.
The refurbishment works at the Nyayo National Stadium will touch on the media center, commentary booths and the canopy. According to Engineer Toom, the CAF inspector weekend were impressed with the progress of the ongoing renovations.
What came up in our discussion yesterday is that other than the fields that they required, which were 3 earlier, they have now decided that we should have 4 training grounds. And like we knew, earmarked to ensure that at Atalanta Stadium, which is AFCON, we have 4 training grounds, already 3 within the ecosystem, and we are now going to include Ulinzi as a training ground for purposes of the referees, because that is a new requirement.
The refurbishment of the stadium is being undertaken. Also charged with constructing 4 training venues and 2 stadium readiness for the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations, which Kenya will co-host with Uganda and Tanzania.
When you look at Kasarani and you look at this place, it is almost, we are at around 35% completion rate in most of the areas. And that come December 2025, all the fields will be ready as required. Field we are stepping on at the moment, this is Nyayo Stadium, will be ready in a month's time. We only have 2 weeks for them to complete.
Kenya is also set to host the African Nations Championships, CHAN, announced by the Confederation of Africa Football, CAF.
Thank you, Okumu, for that report. The FKF Premier League champions Gor Mahia hope to register their first victory in the ongoing Sekafa Kagame Inter-Club competition when they face Al Hilal of Sudan in the 3rd Group B match at the Azam Stadium in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Kogalo opened their campaign losing 1-0 to Zambia's Red Arrows before drawing 1-0 against Djibouti's AS Ali Sabei, and must win their 3rd match to harbor any hopes of progressing to the semi-finals. The top team from each group, along with the best runner-up, will progress to the semi-finals. Gor Mahia is using the event to prepare for the first leg preliminary round of the CAF Al-Merrick of South Sudan on the 16th of the next month. Gor Mahia will host the return leg match on the 23rd of August in a venue yet to be announced.
Hawa ndio staili ambayo wanakuja nayo Red Arrows. Timu ya wanaingia kwenye nafasi nzuri bado.
Strathmore Leos were crowned champions of the Embu Sevens tournament for the 3rd year in a row after beating Catholic Monks 19-5 in the final match. Kabete Stallions settled for 3rd position.
Dominated and won the Embu Sevens tournament after beating Catholic Monks in the final. Kabete Stallions finished third in the lake after proving they were better than rugby on the road 19-12, while host Embu Dragons beat AP Warriors 22-0 to win the plate. Head coach for Strathmore Leo Willis Ojal noted that it was not easy to defend the cup, pointing out defensive errors that of the circuit. A total of 16 teams participated in the tournament, which is lower than last year when 22 teams competed.
They've actually improved well on the surface. The playing area is very good. The players, I think, if we check compared to last year, I think injuries are even fewer this year. So that, for me, from a player coaching perspective, is player welfare was well taken care of.
Tournament yetu imekuwa smart sana. Tumeimprove. Last season kama Embu Dragons tulimalizia 13th place. This season tumemalizia 15th place. Imekuwa improvement from our last na ina show tuko na kazi tunafanya, so going forward we'll still improve.
Meanwhile, Western Kenya karate officials have endorsed Engineer Richard Binga's bid to vie for the chairmanship of the Kenya Federation elections. Binga is the current chairman of the World Authority Traditional Karate Association of Kenya, a position he has held for the past 3 years.
Nafikiria court ilitupatia nafasi tena ya kufanya election. Ni nafasi mzuri sana sisi kama karatekas. Hatujakuwa na tangu Sport Act hatujaikuwa na election.
He has participated in rising to the level of a third dan black belt karateka.
Thank you, King Ori, for that report. Gareth Southgate says he needed time to reflect on whether he'll continue as England's manager after last night's 2-1 defeat to Spain in the final of England have now lost consecutive European Championship finals after missing out on penalties to Italy on home soil 3 years ago.
Cole Palmer netted an equalizer in the 73rd minute before Mikel Oyarzabal scored the winning goal for Spain in the 86th minute.
Now finally, still in football, Lautaro Martinez scored an extra time winner as Argentina beat Colombia 1-0 to win a record 16th Copa America title at Hard Rock Stadium today morning. The win was the third straight major title to Argentina following the 2021 Copa America victory and their triumph in the 2022 World Cup in Qatar.
Pasamos los mejores momentos. Salía Messi comandando la delegación argentina.
Argentina and Colombia met in a game which was marred by security and crowd issues that forced an 82-minute title was on the line early today morning. The two sides played to a goalless draw and was decided in extra time by a quality finish from Lautaro Martinez, who netted his 5th goal of the tournament. There were tears before the celebrations, though, with Argentina captain Lionel Messi going off injured in the 66th minute, watching the rest of the game distraught on the bench, while there was an Di Maria in his final game for the national team.
Nico González y le trajo cosas distintas al partido y jugó mejor Argentina y acá tuvo esta Nico González.
For Colombia, whose only title came in the 2001 Copa America, it was a disappointing night when little seemed to work for Néstor Lorenzo's team. There was chaos around, with organizers blaming supporters for trying to enter without tickets, while fans blamed the lack of an efficient entry system to the venue. It was the third straight major title for Argentina after winning the Copa America in 2021 and the World Cup in 2022.
Y es la más campeona del continente.
And that report brings us to the end of the sports news tonight. My name is Karen Kibet. I'll see you tomorrow. Time, same place. My colleague Tom Mboya will be right back. Don't go too far. Good night.
Well, that's all we had time for. I want to thank you all for watching Prime Edition, coming to you from Broadcasting House. On behalf of the Prime Edition team, including our sign language interpreter, Lensa Odingo. Good night from Nairobi, Kenya. We'll be back again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
you a talented artist? Or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? It can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with our music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
France welcomes the world for the Paris Games. In this edition, heroic Team Kenya is pushing boundaries as well.
An Olympic gold medal.
Kenya is intent on claiming victory at the quadrennial sporting event comprising of 45 sports that will be staged from 24th of July through to the 11th of August. Here comes a dose for everyone.
Yes, it is!
For the athlete, it is chasing a dream of a lifetime. And for the fan, witness history in the making, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Time of the day where we get to let you know everything that has been happening when it comes to the world of entertainment. How are you doing?
What's good? What's happening? It's your boy Jack Mull alongside Miss V, the Kenyan famous.
Today we are matching, by the way. You got the memo.
By default.
Yes. And I love it.
All right, man. Welcome to the biggest, the baddest entertainment show in the 254. Na leo tuko na show moja ya Vungu.
We have a really lit show lined up for you. And by the way, just before we get on to the show, do you know that KBC has got all the rights to get to air? You know, the Olympics that will be taking place in Paris.
Olympics.
Yes. From the 26th. Now KBC will be, it's the official partner. So all the happenings that will be taking place at the Olympics, this is home for you. This is where you'll get to watch each and every bit of it.
That's what's up, man, at KBC Channel 1, at Jack Muller. Welcome to Grapevine, baby.
Yes, you know what this right here is?
Grapevine.
What you gotta do? So what you know about Taarab music? Do you know where it originated from? Well, the Alliance Francaise, still in celebration of the Swahili language, got to host a Taarab show where we had the unknown from Lamu performing alongside the talented Eddie Gray. Let's check that out.
Taarab music is a fusion of pre-Islamic Swahili tunes, sung in rhythmic poetic Arab-style melodies. It is an extremely lively art form and immensely popular, especially with women. Taarab is part of the social life of the Swahili people along the coastal areas, especially in Zanzibar, Tanga, and even further in Mombasa and Malindi along the Kenyan coast. the Swahili Taarab culture moved with them. It has penetrated as far inward as Uganda, Rwanda, and Burundi in East Africa. The word Taarab is Arabic. The Arabic word means having pleasure, delight with music. Still in the celebration of World Swahili Day, Alliance Francaise band from Lamu alongside Eddie Gray, who played Taarab music. An-Nur Band was formed back in the year 2004 and have